Hi and Assalamualaikum. A very good morning to my beloved Dr. Razlana binti Razwan and my fellow classmates. Today, our group would like to present about the government intervention in communication. But first of all, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Nurul Wardiah binti Muhammad Isbah Rizal.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Faris Hakimi bin Ghazali.
Hi, my name is Amy Shamin Alia binti Adham.
Hi, my name is Nur Aisyah Nabila binti Mat Razali.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hidayat bin Rasi.
Today, I would like to present about the government intervention in communication. Intervention is the action or process of intervening and interference of other state. Moreover, the intervention of government in communication is one of the act of interference by the government to influence the way of financial markets or particular industry to operate, such as sport media. For example, in order to influence the society or citizen to give their support towards the sport in Malaysia, the government will interference in media industry or media communication to keep advertising and broadcasting for any sport event that currently happen in Malaysia, such as football, to gain the citizen support and interest. Hence, the government interference will give a pressure to media industry to gain interest of the society for sport event in Malaysia. So, next is the government roles and function. The government roles is responsible for creating and enforcing the rules of a society, defense, foreign affairs, the economy and public service. While the responsibilities of all government are similar, those duties are executed in different ways depending on the form of the government. Other than that, the government is also responsible to find out some countermeasures from the balance point between developing sport industry and satisfying popular needs, and make sport industry have a healthy and sustainable development. Moreover, government are functioning by informing to the society and citizen. It will also focus on helping the audience to understand any issue, news or technique more clearly in order to ensure that society are aware with the environment changes. For example, if there are any news or information related to sports such as Netball Super League Game 2022, the government need to collaborate with media to broadcast about the event to the public. Hence, generally, if there are any changes that happen to rule and regulation in the country, the government need to inform to society about the amendment of this new law. Secondly, the government function in sport communication are also to advocating or persuading them to listen, accept, comprehend and act. So, if the society did not accept the message or information, they will act by either voicing their opinion or ignoring. Thus, the government has their attention and lead to stages of persuasion tend to emulate the stage of brand perception and acceptance. For example, in order for the government to gain interest for the society to practicing a healthy lifestyle, they need to persuade and advocate the public by ensuring that sport minister and their committees went down to field to support any sport event that happen. In addition, it also will lead to gain interest from the citizen and the society. And lastly, the function of government in sport communication is also to engaging citizens, which citizenship engagement is a form of interaction between citizens and their government and can happen at any stage of the development or implementation of any government policy in sport and the delivery of public service or be triggered by events in local area. As an example, the government need to engage with the public for sport event to gain their support and interest towards the environment.
Okay, thank you for Wadia for the explanation. So I continue my topic, which is relevant act developed to effective communications. An expression or group of expression which is communicative act said that we use to carry out some kind of linguistic activity or functions in communications is referred to as a communicative act. We use word, for example, to welcome, ask for comment, invite, decline or complaint. So for example, the Communication and Multimedia Act of Malaysia was examined in Article 19 to determine whether it's complete with international norms for human rights, particularly the right to freedom of speech. The main subject of regulation under Act are application service and network service. For example, we look to section 212 and 13 should specify the status of the content forum in relation to other method of regulation and upland its authority in this area. It should be made clear that any self-regulation system would include protections of the right to freedom of expression. As we know, freedom of expression is one of the bedrock principles of democracy and human rights. It has consistently been described as one of the essential foundations of a democratic society and one of the basic conditions for its progress and for each individual self-fulfillment. Other than that, interception of communication is included in section 234, prohibits the interception of any communications and the disclosure and use of such communication. Interception is broadly defined in section 6 as the oral or other acquisitions of the contents of any communication through the use of any electronic, mechanical, or other equipment, device, or apparatus. Furthermore, disclosure is prohibited for all information which someone would have reason to believe was obtained through unlawful interception.
Thank you to Faris Hakimi. Now, I will continue with bridging communication between government and sport. Sukan Malaysia, which is SUKMA, is a biannual sporting event organized by the National Sport Council of Malaysia in partnership with the Malaysian Olympic Council, the National Sport Association, and the state government. A part of discovering new sporting talent, the host states are being chosen with the goal of improving sport facility in the state to aid in the general growth of sport in Malaysia. Anti-Doping Agency Malaysia. Doping is the use of performance-enhancing medication that are forbidden by athletic participants in competitive sport. Organizations that govern sporting contests frequently use the term doping. The Malaysian Anti-Doping Agency, which is ADAMAS, was established as the anti-doping unit under the administrative supervision of the National Sport Institute, ISN. According to the World Anti-Doping Code, ADAMAS is formally known as the National Anti-Doping Organization, which is NADO. National Sport Day. The National Sport Day strives to actualize the Ministry of Youth and Sport government objective and inspiration to inspire the transform Malaysia into a country where people always do sport, so that it becomes a living culture that raises awareness, portrays unity, and so on. This event commemorates the establishment of National Sport Day as a part of the government aim to encourage Malaysians to participate in Malaysia on a regular basis until it becomes a living culture. These three programs are examples of way to bridging communication between government and sport. The public can know the program through the dissemination of information on television, newspaper, journal, internet, magazine, radio, and many more. That's all from me. Now, I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Amy Sharmin. Now, I want to share about some issue and challenge in government. First is head of sport governing body who quarrel or struggle with leadership for political power. There is a concept in the world of sport that policy and sport do not meet. In the national level, some national sport leader and head of sport governing bodies quarreling or wrestling with the leadership are headlining the news in their quest for political power and authority. In theory, sport and politics do not really mix, but in practice, it is a fact that sport and politics do mix. Sport itself is an activity of contestation, competition, and clash of both human mind, body, and spirit, not only among players but even among sport leaders, managers, coaches, and policy implementers and policymakers. Second is less systematic sport administration structure. Sport governance also concerns itself with the appropriate structure and system which will best fit an effective and efficient sport program, project and policy. But such governance arrangement or structure will also depend on the nature, form and classification of the government and the political system which a nation state address upon. The concept of a centralized system of sport governance implies that sport development must come from the top, a yearning that such sport development downstream to the local communities, the grassroots level in particular. The centralization of a sport governance allows sport leader and governor greater control, command and influence in the scouting, recruitment and training of athlete and player, in the choice of trainers and coaches, but more importantly, in the utilization of fund and resource. Alright, that's all from me. Now I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Aisha, for the explanation. Now I will continue about the case study that related to this topic. In this case study, we can see that travel industry in India seek for the government intervention due to the visa delays by some countries and call for scrapping of e-Suvidha requirement. There are massive delays in visa processing by Schengen states, US and some other countries, and the travel industry in India has sought the government's intervention in the issues because it has disrupting Indian Globetrotters plans and causing huge loss to them. Because of the delay in securing appointment and visa processing for outbound and removing e-Suvidha requirement for the inbound, the Travel Agent Association of India, TAAI, has requested a government-to-government dialogue to resolve or address the issues. Due to the score of India passengers are losing a lot of money since tickets and hotels confirmation have to be submitted with visa application for many countries, and when passport is not received in time, people are ending up paying huge cancellation charge. TAAI has also requested the government for extension of the free visas to India and the duration to be a minimum 6 months with multiple entries, and e-visa must be reinstated for all countries including UK and Canada to boost inbound tourism. In this case study, we can see there have a government role and function in engaging citizens. The TAAI has formed an interaction between government to solve the problem. In conclusion, the government plays a crucial role in maintaining the stability of the countries. The government intervention in communication is one of the measures to maintain the stability of the countries. This way, help government inform the audience to understand any issues, news, to ensure that society are aware with the environment. It also persuades them to listen, to accept, understand and act so they can avoid society from not accepting message or information and will act by either voicing their opinion or ignore. Through this, government can engage citizens to form an interaction between government and citizen to have perfect implementation of any government policy in sport and public service delivery or triggered by internal even local area. This is all for our presentation. Thank you.